Tristram Stuart is the author of Waste, Uncovering the Global Food Waste Scandal, which is another must-read book if you haven't read it yet. He's also the founder of Feeding the 5,000.
Thanks very much. I first got interested in food waste when I was 15, and I was keeping pigs on my family farm, and I fed them on food waste from my school canteen and the local baker and the local greengrocer and a farmer who was throwing away potatoes that were wrong shape and size for the supermarkets, so he was discarding them. That was great. Those pigs turned that food waste back into pork, and I sold that pork to the school friends that I was at school with, and made lots of pocket money. But I noticed that most of that food that I was collecting was actually fit for human consumption. And one day I sat down and had my breakfast with my pigs. This delicious bread that was coming from the organic baker, much better than the bread I was eating at home. And that was my first act of what I came to call freeganism, what I learned was being used by lots of other organisations in different parts of the world to both campaign on food waste and also as a part of the wider counterculture of environmental movement. And I eventually went on to campaign on this issue more publicly and got around to writing my book, in which I calculated that around a third of the world's food supply was wasted, and that has since been endorsed by all the statisticians at the FAO and the rest of it. And we've seen now a huge uptake in interest on tackling food waste. Subsequent to the publication of my book, I set up Feeding the 5,000. It's a launch party, if you like, for organisations who want to tackle food waste and want to come together to launch national campaigns on the issue. And we feed 5,000 people on food that would otherwise be wasted, in a big celebration of the fact that actually the solutions to this catastrophic problem are really delicious, namely eating food rather than throwing it away. We've now got a partnership with United Nations Environment Programme, Think, Eat, Save campaign, and that's actually what I'm doing here in New York City. We've been going around farms and shops and restaurants collecting food that would otherwise be wasted as a way of telling the story. We've been donating a lot of that to food banks, but one of the things that I'd like to invite anyone who wants to get their hands dirty in this whole movement to is the disco soup we're holding tomorrow evening on Super Pier. That's what used to be called Pier 57, which is 15th Street West Side Highway. And we're going to turn on the music, got a bunch of great DJs, got loads of rescued tomatoes and the rest of it, and we're going to make a big soup and stew and the rest of it with great chef Paul Gerard, who's here today, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what he's been doing today. To collect this food, we went off to farms in New Jersey on Tuesday and gleaned. Everyone knows what gleaning is. This is taking stuff from fields where a lot of food is just being left to rot, and we collect tomatoes and peppers and aubergines, sorry, you call them eggplants, don't you? And watermelons, an entire field of watermelons that he had left there. And he took us to his compost heap, and this compost heap looks to you and me like a massive pile of food, because that's what it is. And he picked off a red pepper off his compost heap and just started eating it. And it was kind of inspiring moment. I always like to be trumped at my own game, and he surely did that. And he explained to us that most of this food waste is because of the cosmetic standards laid down by supermarkets and also cancellation of forecasts. But it is a scandal. However, it is also a massive opportunity. We've been campaigning on ugly fruit and vegetables in the United Kingdom for a few years. It's now the fastest growing sector of the fresh produce market, and in the last 12 months we've seen 300,000 tonnes of ugly fruits and vegetables that used to be wasted now reaching the market because people are aware of it. Public awareness and social change is something that we can do, and we must. And in an effort, as a way to tell the story and also tell how delicious the solutions are, Paul has been busy at work turning all of this rescued food that we've got into some of the most delicious canapes I've ever had. He got a load of rabbit bones from a butcher, and we got surplus pita bread from Damascus Bakery, some near expiry Damascus bakery pita breads. What are we going to make with that? Who's got a quick mind? Peter Rabbit, obviously. We've got some pig heads. You know, offal consumption has halved in the United States and the United Kingdom in the last 30 years. These are traditional, delicious parts of our gastronomic heritage. Offal, innards, heads, tails, feet. These are all edible parts of animals. It makes no sense to waste them. So we've got some pig head terrine. He picked up a tuna skeleton and scraped 4 pounds of prime tuna off it. That was all going to be wasted. That's $80 of tuna. And I've been in this game for a long time. These are the most delicious solutions to food waste that I've ever tasted. But if you want to taste more, come and join us again. You'll taste some now, but you can taste some more at Pier 57 or Super Pier tomorrow evening between 5 and 9, where we're going to feed hundreds of people on this incredible food that Paul has been cooking. Thank you very much indeed.